Thanks for tuning in to Electric Bike Journal. Today we're taking a look at the Ride1Up Roadster V2 Gravel Edition and the Velotric T1. And these are two bikes we get a lot of questions about. They're both under $2,000. Which one do we like more? Well, we decided to make a video answering those questions to help you decide which one is better for you. So let's get into the details. We saw the comments, we knew people were asking, and so here we are, we're doing it. We're comparing the two bikes, and we're gonna be comparing them based more so off of ride experience and overall what you're getting for your investment. Now, before we get into it, if you could do us a favor and just click subscribe, that would really help us out a lot as we're continuing to try to grow this channel so we can continue to do informational videos about electric bikes and electric bike reviews. So before we put these bikes head to head, it's best for us to set the foundation, and that would be a general understanding of what a gravel bike is. Now, before we get into the deep end on gravel bikes and fully what that is, the short and sweet version is essentially, it is a road bike that has been adapted in the frame's geometry to accommodate larger tires. Within that, you are able to get a larger volume tire. Generally, it has a more aggressive tread pattern on it. And with the rest of the changes to the frame, the bike as a whole will perform better and excel beyond a road bike for off-road terrain. I don't want to go too deep on it, but it helps us kind of set the playing field for these two bikes as we get into comparing them. This is the Ride1Up Roadster V2 Gravel Edition. It's kind of a mouthful as far as the title goes, but it's a very cool bike, not a lot going on it, and that's something that we like most about it. It starts at $1,245. This is a Class 3 electric bike, so that means you get pedal assist up to 28 miles per hour. Has a thumb throttle located on the left there, so you got throttle assist up to 20 miles per hour. Uses a 350 watt rear drive hub motor and has a 252 watt hour battery integrated into the frame. Mechanical disc brakes, single speed belt drive. Ours is a little bit different. We have different tires, stem, handlebars, grips. It is still an aluminum frame, flat bar electric gravel bike. And we've had it for the last few months, been riding it both on tarmac as well as out in the woods. So we have a pretty good understanding of how this performs in both scenarios. So let's get into the Velotric. This is the Velotric T1. This comes in at $17.99. This is a Class 1 electric bike. Also has 700C wheels, an aluminum frame, and is a flat bar setup. Unlike the Roadster V2, the T1 has a 350 watt hour battery that is integrated into the frame, so you get a little bit more range, but it does also have a 350 watt rear drive hub motor. It is hydraulic disc brakes, you get a little extra braking power, and a Shimano 8-speed drivetrain, so you have a few gears to get to. Ours has undergone a few additional changes than the Roadster V2 has. It has different tires, a fork, handlebar setup, seat post, that's about it. But we do have a full video on all of the upgrades that we've done to this bike, so if you're curious, check that one out. I'll link it up above for you to watch at your leisure. Now that we know a little bit more about each one of these bikes, this is where we begin to see the differences between the two of them, and that's in the specs and components on these bikes. And that alone is why we were a little hesitant to wanting to compare the two of them, but I think it is important for us to see where those components actually make a difference in the riding performance of each bike, and that's what helps someone like yourself decide which bike is best for you and the type of riding you're trying to do. Now, for about $500 more, the Velotric T1 has hydraulic disc brakes, an 8-speed drivetrain, and a slightly larger battery. The Roadster V2 is gonna save you some money, and you are gonna get that Class 3 rating, so you're gonna be able to go faster with that pedal assist, and because of the single speed and the mechanical brakes, the maintenance and just user interaction with taking care of that bike is gonna be less. Now, since both of these bikes are classified as electric gravel bikes, that is where we'll be focusing on their performance and how well they do out on those gravel roads. Now, we are gonna jump into some paved exercises to show you how well they do on the pavement, because that is a vital part of these bikes as well. And this is where you'll begin to see these bikes separate away from each other, the difference between Class 1 and Class 3, and ultimately a single speed versus a geared bike when it comes to hills and having that power there when you need it to get up the steep stuff. Well, let's jump out on the Ride1Up to see how well it does. Well, when it comes to riding the Ride1Up Roadster V2, their controller is located up on the handlebars here. If you hold down the M button, that'll get you into different modes, and you can click around to see different menu options like odometer, trip, time, etc. And then you have plus and minus there to go through the 5 different levels of pedal assist. We'll just go with pedal assist 3. We're out here, nice little paved road section, and I'll just show you how this does out on the road. Again, we have these Schwalbe G1 speeds on there. They're a wider tire than the original one. This comes with WTB Resolutes, which is actually on the Velotric T1 right now. But these tires are really efficient on the road and they have a lot of volume to them as well. So adds some comfort to this bike and helps with our rolling speed. Now when it comes to riding the Velotric T1, to turn it on, you can use an app from your phone. And from the app, you can actually program a fingerprint to put on there and turn this bike on just with one of your programmed fingerprints. And just like most bikes, you have a plus and minus over here to get through the different power modes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total pedal assist modes. Again, class 1. Within the app, there are 3 different tuning modes. So you have like a city, adventure, and then an extreme or max mode. And that puts out the most output from your motor, so that will affect your battery range. All the same as having it in a high pedal assist mode. So we'll just go with the green, the easy for right now. And we are in the adventure mode, so it's kind of middle ground, a little bit more power in the city, but out on country roads, when you want to go a little bit faster, it's definitely nice to have a little extra boost. We'll just get started out on the pavement here, nice wide shoulder. Able to get up to 13 miles an hour with a slight rise, and as this levels out, you can see this bike pedals very smoothly. Despite being a single speed, the gearing ratio on it definitely favors the pavement, and there's enough power in that motor that being class 3, you can start to feel it almost go faster than your pedaling cadence that's comfortable, so you really gotta pedal fast if you wanna go faster. Now, just like on the Roadster, I'm gonna get out on this main road here and get going. Now, this being class 1, you're gonna get up to 20 miles an hour a lot faster, and then you'll be stuck there. Fortunately, I have a few gears to make little inclines like this easier for the lower speed rating. But when it levels out, you can get into those higher gears and really dramatically change your cadence. So that means your feet are pedaling a lot slower to maintain the same speeds. The T1 does have a torque sensor, unlike the Roadster V2, which is only a cadence sensor. So that pedaling characteristic, there's a little bit of resistance, and the motor's able to pick up on that with the torque sensor and feel the amount of pressure that you're putting into the pedals to help the motor decide to put out more power or not. Now, where the points start to come back towards the Velotric T1 for paved riding is when you get out into the hills. Like I said, that single speed drivetrain really limits your gearing ratio to have to put in a little bit more work to match the motor to get up the steeper hills. Now, this hill's not too bad, but I'm still having to apply quite a bit of force to get this bike up it, where the T1, I got gears. It's just a little bit easier. Now, when you find yourself approaching hills on the T1, if you were stuck as a single speed like the Roadster V2 and in an easy mode, a hill like this would be a lot of work. While being able to shift through your gears, you might be going slower, but the amount of energy that I'm putting out to pedal up this is pretty minimal, and I still have 4 other pedal system modes to go up this faster, like this. And that'll really help you get back up to speed. Again, still going slow, but the amount of energy that you exert by being able to use multiple gears is, well, it's really nice. Mellow stuff like this, the Roadster V2 is very comfortable, and having a little bit bigger tires and these Pashier bars, it's very smooth. This is a relatively well-groomed gravel road, but it feels great. And in pedal assist mode 3 here, I'm able to do 12, 13 miles an hour and cruise my way along these roads. as you round corners and start to see some elevation, this is where you might see that same conversation of how this bike does on the pavement come back. And on these hills, you'll start to see the power disappear, and really it's just you pedaling a 36-pound bike kind of above the motor and what it's outputting. Let's get up to pedal assist mode 5 now. But overall, not so bad. And if you don't have a lot of elevation near you, the gearing ratio it comes with won't be too treacherous. If this is all you want to ride, and this is the bike you want, I might suggest looking into changing the gearing ratio to be a little bit better for hills like this. Otherwise, you'll be huffing and puffing like I am. But that doesn't mean that the Roadster V2 can't do it. Just means you might be working a little bit harder. Now, the number one thing to notice between the two bikes is the Class 3 versus Class 1. As a whole, the T1 is just a little bit slower. That being said, you have 8 gears. So despite being slower, you are able to adjust your pedaling cadence within changing gears. So that way when you get to some hills and you don't want to work as hard, go to an easier gear. You might not go as fast, but you're not working as hard. Both bikes having a 350 watt motor and really close to the same torque output. The amount of power both motors can put out is very comparable on hills specifically. The big takeaway from how much energy you have to put out does have to go with having gears. So it means I don't have to pedal as hard, but also has to do with that torque sensor that I mentioned earlier. When we're back at that steeper, longer hill, the Roadster was really a lot of work to get up. So even though I'm going slower, the amount of energy it takes to pedal up this, significantly less. I could breathe, could even talk, and I'm gonna make it to the top. And this hill could just keep on going and going. The amount of energy that it's taking me to climb up this stays the same. Well, with a little on-road and off-road comparison, let's get back down and talk about where each one of these bikes excels. Well, I'm sure by now you are starting to see the theme that the T1 as an electric gravel bike is a much more capable electric gravel bike than the Roadster V2. And that's not to say that you can't take your Roadster V2 Gravel Edition and go out and do big days on gravel roads. Both bikes are fully capable. They are just gonna have different performance benefits from each other with component spec as well as frame design. Well, with all that being said, if you happen to be someone interested in both of these bikes and you're on the fence trying to decide which one, we really do hope that this video has been helpful to you. We could go on for hours talking about the differences of these bikes, but ultimately, if you're looking for a intentional gravel bike and that's the type of riding you want to do, the Velotric T1 is definitely going to be the bike that we encourage you to look into first. However, if you happen to have a Roadster V2 Gravel Edition, or that is the bike that fits your budget, it is going to get you out there. It's gonna let you ride those gravel roads. And ultimately, that is the main takeaway between these two bikes. One of them might make things a little bit easier. One of them might get you an extra few miles, but ultimately both bikes are fully capable to pedal around town as well as out in the woods. We do have full reviews on both of these bikes, both here on the channel as well as on the website, so be sure to check those out if you're interested in either one. We don't want to go too crazy in comparing the two of them because they are dramatically different. Ultimately, if there was any takeaway between the two of them, they are both capable, and if you want to save $500 or this is your budget, the Roadster V2 is going to be a fantastic bike for you and allow you to go out there and get riding. Now, if you do have a little bit more of a budget, but a full-on electric gravel bike from some of the other brands is just a little bit too much, The Velotric T1 is a very capable bike, and if you happen to check out our upgrade video to the T1, you'll see that there's a lot of things you can do to this bike to make it even more capable and how that impacts the overall abilities of the T1. Well, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you didn't do it earlier, click subscribe. That'll continue to help our channel grow so we can continue to do informational videos like this and bike reviews. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.